Hi, I'm Kristen McDade, Pollution Prevention Specialist at Resources. And I want to tell you about an encounter I had not too long ago. A woman from Bellingham called me to report of a neighbor that was pouring oil down a storm drain. I was super concerned about this. So I went to take a look, and sure enough, there were signs of oil all over the storm drain. And when I looked down in the storm drain, there was a film of oil sitting on top. Now, this was a particularly nasty encounter of pollution. Most pollution is sneakier. I think we can all agree that pouring motor oil down a storm drain is a bad idea. But most pollution, it comes in the forms of little drips coming from cars or from parking lots. Or maybe it's that extra scoop of fertilizer that's been put on the lawn. And of course, it's that bag of dog poop sitting on the side of the trail. So why does this matter? Well, all this pollution is going into the Salish Sea, which is causing it to become toxic soup. And this is bad news for salmon, for orcas, for all the shellfish, and the people who eat seafood from the Salish Sea. A lot of people rely on local seafood, and eating contaminated seafood, especially tribal members who eat more of it, it's not a good thing. Up here where I live in Bellingham, storm drains dump directly into our drinking water source, Lake Whatcom. People live around that lake, they drive, they walk their dogs around that lake. I want to keep our drinking water free of all of that gunk. Now, some of that gunk is really, really bad. Researchers recently identified a chemical from tire dust called 6-ppd quinone. Now, one drop of this chemical can kill a coho in a matter of hours. So how does all this gunk get into our water? Well, rain, and we've got a lot of it. So rain washes that gunk from our lawns, from our rooftops, from the pavement into our waterways. We call that stormwater. Now, stormwater goes into storm drains, and storm drains are not designed to filter out pollution. They're really designed to keep our houses, our buildings, and our streets free from flooding. So if you pour something down a storm drain, well, you might as well be chucking it right into the creek or into the bay. Let's follow a raindrop. Here's how a humble little raindrop can become a pollution snowball, bringing all sorts of pollution with it. Here on the roof, rain picks up toxic metals like arsenic and copper. Now, running along the street, it's gonna get a bit of motor oil, tire dust, industrial byproducts, and anything that someone may have carelessly tossed on the road. Unpaved areas with plants are called pervious surfaces. Water can trickle through these. Unlike pavement, they often give the poor raindrop a bit of relief and can filter out the bad stuff. But sometimes the raindrop picks up pesticides, weed killer, and pest waste here. Now it finally goes into a storm drain. Sometimes the raindrop gets a little break here and it goes into a settling basin to let heavier stuff sink out before the water continues out directly to the Salish Sea. Stormwater enters our rivers and oceans through outfalls like these. Notice the gushing water coming out? That's untreated rainwater with a lot of gunk in it. All right, that may have been a lot of rain on your parade, but never fear. Here are 6 pretty simple things you can do about it. Do you see moss growing in a gutter or leaves on a storm drain? Well, unclog them. And pick up your pet's poop. And strongly encourage your friends and neighbors to do the same. Use earth-friendly lawn products like compost instead of artificial fertilizer, and skip the poisonous pesticides. Choose surfaces that water can run through, called pervious surfaces, instead of pavement. Grass and shrubs help filter water that seeps into the soil. Store toxic products under a roof and off the bare ground, and always dispose of them properly. Lastly, but definitely not least, if you have a car, take your car to a car wash. It's a little counterintuitive, but car wash wastewater goes to a treatment plant. But all the soak and grime created when you wash your own car at home doesn't. Also, make sure to regularly check for oil leaks. So let us know if you think you see pollution any shape or size. Call the pollution hotline or download the Water Reporter app. That's all for now. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. We love hearing from you as much as we hate